Welcome to part 10. So behind me you can see a plaster wall, but it's not so wide as we added it on the wall. So what we'll do in this part is we're doing some texture blending. We're using a different texture, blending this with a white plaster wall, and with vertex paint we can blend these with each other. So that's pretty much for part number 10. Let's do some blending.
And welcome to part number 10 of the factory construction. So in the previous part we added some water puddles on the concrete plates and the concrete, and you can customize these by, if you go to the shading, we have to go to material again, you have these two sliders, and you can customize them for every material. So that's really nice. So what I'd like to do in this part is cleaning up or colorize the materials a bit, and then focusing on the plaster wall. So by colorizing, I mean some viewport colors. So currently it's all gray, and it's kind of hard to see what is. So like this door, it's hard to see, but it's all gray. So if we start adding slightly different colors, and the door is starting to get blue, like something like this. We have a brown door, so we click, and we make it a bit brown. Oh, that's the glass. It can be a little bit blue, light blue. Then we have to switch material, and then we make this one brown. Okay, so selecting the factory, the walls can stay white. Plates floor, a bit darker, like so. And then we have the concrete floor, maybe a little bit like this. So what else do we have? Well, let's toggle. We have the roof plates, so we can make them a little bit red, something like this. And we continue. Painted window, I like to make these more like bluish. So we also have two different window colors. And we have protected glass, wall, plates, floor. That's pretty much it. And of course we have like these borders, and you can just customize these. These are more like solid white. So yeah, just a small difference in color. And we have the construction beams. We can make these a little bit greenish, so they are easy to recognize. Yeah, and we have these, what's the name of the ceiling light tray? So what about giving that a more yellowish color? Well, this way you can easily see what's what, and it helps. So from this point, I like to focus on the plaster wall, because it's all so clinical white. And yeah, I want to make this dirty. So currently we have this very simple setup using a plastered wall, and I like to start blending this. So I like to do this in two ways. We'll start with painting, vertex painting, and I'm really happy that we have these grids, all these like vertices, so we can do the vertex painting. And after the vertex painting, we do like a more general or like procedural way of blending some colors. So it's like the mix between both. But I like to have control to paint some dirt in corners. So that's what we're going to do. It's a little bit of advanced, but we'll get there. So we duplicate this texture. I like to go to the previous one, make this a list, and we select plaster wall 3. And this is more dirty. And we go to add color, mix color, and we combine these two. So as soon as we do that, we have the 50% blend mix. That's fine. But we want to have control on it. So we go to color attributes. And by adding a color attribute, you can paint on the vertices. So that's what we do. We call this dirt. like this. So just a sort of a paint mask. You go to add input and we add a color attribute, and we're calling this, or click it, dirt. So like the most simple way should be like this. You turn it in and it's now the white color again. We go to vertex paint. We are pressing F and we also enable the screencast again. We can now hit Control, left click, and we can paint. So in fact, we can, let's make this smoother. This is nice, it's not bad. If we zoom in, it's like it's a fading. And I don't like that because it's mostly plaster on plaster, like old plaster. It's more grungy. So this, it works, but I don't really like it. So we're going to mix that with a grunge texture to have, to mix it a bit more. So we duplicate this texture and I'll have 2 masks, and I prefer this one because this is more black and white, so some parts will just be empty. And we select this. I want to duplicate this mix node. We're putting this one in the bottom. We're putting this color on top because that one is the mask. And to have the control on, and we have to make this non-color, by the way. Very important you change that. And add color ramp. And make this white. Putting it right here. That one goes now right here. It's flipped, so we have to just flip these. So you can see the difference. And now we can just start doing the paint work. And I mean, you don't have to make squares. That's really odd. Maybe a little bit of leaking here and there. Because we will also do like the cloud mixing, the noise texture mixing. And that will take care of more randomization. So this is especially for like the door, like so, and like these little streaks leaking. And at some parts it won't paint. That's because the texture is, I guess it's too white, the grunge texture. So and I like to make it a bit more dark, so I had to add the color hue and saturation and make it 0.8. So it's now more grungy. So there's a lot of white plasters and start just painting, especially around these windows. I kind of like that. So here, that's nice. And on the top as well, always on the top. On accident, I just paused my video about painting. And I don't want that. Okay, but you get the idea. It's like you just paint on the wall and really try to avoid that you make squares. That's a little bit weird. So, and we continue to add some grunge on the top, like so, and at the bottom, hit Control, go all the way around the door, and remove some if you like. So I'm using the paint soft. So I'm just trying to make it more uniform. Some over here. And we do some more randomness. I like to do some dirt here on the top as well. Kind of like it. Okay. So, okay. Don't kill the scene. All right. So this is the first layer of dirt, of grunge. Go back to the object mode. we adding another mix node, duplicate the plaster 03, the wall 03, and we're putting this one right there. And we go to add texture, noise texture, and a color ramp. Putting it right here. And a mapping node. And texture coordinates. We're doing the UV. Okay, so this will be the other mask. And we are sliding these together. And I just want to have this slightly. Just a little bit. Are we happy? Well, maybe. You can give it the same color if you like. And maybe we do. Yeah, it's not even a bad idea. And we can increase the detail so it's not that soft anymore. Well, maybe a bit harder. So yeah, you have to play with these settings what you prefer. So I think something like this. It's pretty nice. And we're not finished yet because yeah, we now have dirt on the wall. But a factory is you can also add some graffiti. And that's really fun. So for this course, I made real graffiti. I painted on the wall and I extracted it and I made a texture out of it. And let's demonstrate this on this wall. So add texture, image texture, and we do the mixing in a second. We have to add a new UV. Call this graffiti, or no capital, like so, and add input UV map, call this graffiti. That one goes here, and we have to open our decals folder, and we have the graffiti, and the one I like for is this one. We're going to make this arrow. So I packed 4 graffiti patterns in one texture, and we have to put this one right here, putting that one right there, and the alpha goes here. And not really. Okay, that's perfect. So we select all the vertices, UV editing. It's a little bit overwhelming. Okay, so as long we have selected UV map, the graffiti, we scale that down, not even everything, and we want to have the graffiti. There it is. I need to think what I'm doing, even if I've done this a lot of times. Okay, so it's gone. Where do we want it? Well, close to this door is nice. So in face selection mode, it's really hard to make like a selection. Let's start here. And we want to have the arrow. Okay, go to the side view. You won't see anything. So it's now the wireframe. Press U and project from view. So we want to have this arrow, scale it up. And material preview. There we have it. We get some graffiti. You have to see the leaking. It's pretty awesome. And we rotate this, or we flip. Not rotating it. Oh. Make it a bit bigger. So you have some graffiti on the wall. And my advice to you, don't kill your scene with graffiti everywhere. I like to do some graffiti on the wall, on the blue door. And I mean, it's pretty simple. You have to go to the UV map, call this graffiti. You go to shading. It's a very basic texture. and you're duplicating it. We pick the graffiti and another one. Add color, mix color. We combine these two, and the alpha goes here because it's a transparent texture. And we want to have all the objects, also these. Let's merge these. Control J. Exactly. So we have graffiti. We select everything. And we go to Control 3, the other side, and press. And we also want to add depends where we want to add the graffiti. One over here. So some extra edge lines, but we make a projection. Project from view, UV editing. So we want to just hide it. And now, yeah, it's now hidden. Is it? No, because we have to input the UV map of the graffiti. No, graffiti. And we're putting it right there. That should work. Almost. UV editing. Okay, what's going on? So something. Oh, of course. It's using the other graffiti. So I like to see some cool painted on it. So on the top, so I like to select this part. Oh, in 3 face selection mode. I'll first select everything. We just turn it off. That one. I'm a little bit slow on explaining. I don't want to make a mistake now. Wireframe. You project from view. Okay. And we pick the cool. All right. That's fun. Okay, that's why. Because I want to have the leaking on it as well. How does it look like? Yeah, we have cool. So I want to, you can see now the paint is on this as well. That's why I linked these metal frames on it. You now go to shading, and instead of having this black, we're doing something fun. Add color, invert color, and you're putting it right there. Beds, and it's white, so it's some white graffiti on the door. So here we go. Maybe 2 extra will be nice to fill, but don't put graffiti on every wall. You can do that. I mean, you can. But what happens is that you get distracted by too many graffiti paintings on the wall, and you want the viewer to have attention on more than just the graffiti. Even if it's cool, it's maybe ruining the scene. So yeah, we're ending this lecture. We're going to make a render. We're going to rendering. No, we just lost the other ones. That's okay. And we're hitting F12 for solid view, just checking if we are in GPU. We have the threshold, that's all saved. So hit render and check it out. Yeah, I'm happy with the dirt on the wall. It's very easy to add too much dirt. But I mean, the plaster wall is dirty, but not that dirty. I've seen factories, very old and still having clean plaster. So we're reaching the end of the course. I mean, it's still empty, but what happens as soon as we fill it with the shelves and like more props, like some barrels and a little bit of atmosphere light, mist, and we change the skylight to HDRI lighting. It will change rapidly. So stay tuned. We're almost there, and I'll see you in the next part. Bye-bye.